Welcome back. All right, so September 19th, Sunday. Welcome. Of course, it's a football day, but here talking to all you fine people about some hockey news from around the hockey world. General Manager Doug Armstrong of the St. Louis Blues having some discussions about where things are at. With Sundvqist, he's saying he's likely out until late October, early November. Not overly concerned with that. The other thing is he doesn't seem to be concerned, and I don't think he would say so publicly because none of the general managers are. But the restricted free agent for St. Louis is Robert Thomas. Robert Thomas had a rough year last year, and so if he gets off to a slow start this year, if he's late to camp, if this drags on, that doesn't help. But I'm just surprised, to be honest, that they haven't worked out a contract with Thomas because you have to think that with the totals he put up last year, he's not going to need a huge raise. And it's odd to me that just hasn't been worked out. Of all the restricted free agents out there, that one to me seems like it should be relatively easy for the general manager and the agent or the player to come to an agreement. So, kind of surprised that's still out there. But again, Doug Armstrong's not saying anything about being concerned. He also, with Tarasenko sticking around. He understands the trade request was out there and hopes that Tarasenko sticks around. At least that's what he's saying. Again, that's what he's saying publicly. But when you leave the player unprotected for the expansion draft, there's a risk you may lose the player, right? So we'll see. We'll see how long Tarasenko's happy. Again, if he gets off to a great start, you might be quite satisfied with sticking around in St. Louis. And so we'll see how things go from there. Buffalo. This is weird. This is another step in the Jack Eichel epic. It feels like this is like War and Peace levels of epic at this point, even though it's not. Eichel is going to take the pre-training camp physical. Yeah, he's going to come in and take the physical. The expectation, I would think, is he's going to fail it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, and if he passes? So if Eichel came into camp, and if he passes the physical, does he take to the ice? Does he, do all the workouts? Does he potentially play to start the season? And I know he's having neck problems and he wants to have surgery, but I'm saying if he passes the physical, what happens then? Of course, if he fails the physical, well, I don't know. Because again, his trade value can't be that high until that's fixed. And if it's still bothering him all these months after he played his last game, to me, if I'm a general manager and I'm being asked to sacrifice multiple picks or prospects or players, whatever package Buffalo wants, I might be scared off if Eichel's not better and if he's still insisting on a surgery that maybe my team's not all that comfortable with either. So, again, we'll see how this all goes, but Jack Eichel's taking the physical, and on some level, the chaotic side of me wants to see him pass just to see what happens from there. Just to see what happens if doctors go, yeah, you're good enough to play, and then what, right? So yeah, speaking of players who have asked for trades or are expected to be traded, there's Logan Brown, who did sign a 1-year, 2-way deal with the Sens. The Sens saying nice things about him and all of this wonderful stuff. But the expectation is that Logan Brown probably gets traded. So again, we've got Tarasenko. He's sticking around. Eichel, very, very likely to be traded. Logan Brown probably getting traded. And that makes up your news board for today, at least so far. But it is Sunday. It's the last Sunday before training camp. I can't see anything big going down. Once we get into training camp, there'll be general managers who look at their team on the ice and say, yeah, we've got to fix whether it's the blue line, maybe they need another forward, maybe they need a new goalie. There's going to be stuff that happens. There's going to be injuries, too, in the preseason that's going to necessitate some moves here and there. So stay tuned. We're going to also see the waiver wire fill up quickly once we get into training camp. Teams will try to sneak players through on the waiver wire as well. We always see that, where players that we look back on, Nedeljkovic, right, and say, how did they pass through waivers? How did that happen? And it's usually because everybody's on waivers and general managers still aren't sure what their roster is going to look like. So, yeah, they might see a player and say, gee, that guy might be good, but if I bring him in, then I have to waive somebody else. And I can't be doing that right now. So there will be some relatively eye-opening names probably on the first round of waivers. But I'll be here to report on it when that takes place. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.